Imagine for a moment that all the minds in the universe are connected in a vast, invisible network, an energetic fabric that intertwines thoughts, emotions, and states of consciousness. Imagine that every idea you have, every emotion you experience, doesn't just belong to you, but travels through this web, resonating with other minds and with the very essence of the cosmos. What if I told you that this isn't just a philosophical idea, but a principle that quantum physics is beginning to reveal? There exists a law at the heart of quantum mechanics that could forever change how we understand reality. This phenomenon suggests that two particles can be so deeply connected that any change in one instantly affects the other, no matter the distance between them. Albert Einstein referred to it as spooky action at a distance because it seemed to defy the rules of time and space. However, scientific experiments have confirmed that this is real. But here's the most astonishing part. If this phenomenon occurs at a subatomic level, what's to stop it from also happening at larger scales, including our minds, thoughts, and emotions? Every day, more evidence emerges suggesting that consciousness could operate under the same principles as quantum entanglement. This means your mind could be connected to other minds, to higher energies, and to a field of information that transcends ordinary perception. Have you ever felt someone was thinking of you just before receiving their call or message? Have you had premonitions that later came true? Have you experienced the sensation that there's something beyond what your senses can perceive? Science and spirituality are starting to converge at this point. Reality may not be as solid and separate as we thought, but rather an interconnected field where the mind plays a fundamental role. Dean Radin, a researcher in the field of parapsychology and author of the book Entanglement, has conducted numerous studies showing how the mind appears to influence matter and events at a distance. His experiments have shown that when a person focuses intensely on another, changes can be recorded in the brain activity of the observed person, even when they are in a separate room. This suggests that consciousness is not confined to the brain, but extends beyond the physical limits of the body. If this is true, the big question is, how can we consciously tap into the power of quantum entanglement to awaken our minds and connect with deeper levels of reality? The key lies in the relationship between consciousness and vibration. Nikola Tesla expressed it clearly. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Everything in the universe vibrates at a specific frequency, including you. Your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs emit a vibration that interacts with the quantum field. The reason most people do not perceive this connection is that their minds are filled with noise, distractions, and limiting beliefs that block their ability to tune into higher levels of consciousness. But the good news is that you can train yourself to raise your vibration and activate the connection between your subconscious mind and quantum entanglement. You can learn to perceive subtle signals, receive information intuitively, and influence your reality in ways that previously seemed impossible. To achieve this, you need to understand three fundamental principles: attention, intention, and energetic coherence. Attention is the first step. What you focus on in your mind expands. If you constantly concentrate on problems, worries, and negative thoughts, you will be tuning into a frequency that reinforces that same reality. But if you learn to focus your attention on elevated states of consciousness, like gratitude, love, and expansion, you will start to vibrate in harmony with higher energies and the quantum field. The second principle is intention. Your intention is the force that directs your energy and creates effects in the quantum world. When you set a clear intention and hold it with emotion and conviction, you are sending a signal to the universe, activating the entanglement between your mind and the field of infinite possibilities. The third principle is energetic coherence. Science has shown that when the heart and brain enter a state of coherence, when their waves synchronize in harmony, a person experiences greater mental clarity, creativity, and connection to their intuition. Studies from the HeartMath Institute have shown that the heart generates a stronger electromagnetic field than the brain, and this field influences our state of consciousness and our ability to connect with others. By combining these three principles, you can begin to develop a deeper perception of reality and strengthen the connection between your subconscious mind and the universe. In the next few minutes, we'll explore how to apply this knowledge to your daily life with techniques that have been used by mystics, scientists, and sages throughout history. But the most surprising part will come at the end of this video when we uncover the ultimate method to unlock the connection between the subconscious and quantum entanglement. This knowledge has been explored for generations, but only a few have managed to master it. Get ready, because we are about to embark on a journey that will challenge everything you thought you knew about the mind and reality. To understand how quantum entanglement can transform your mind and reality, you first need to grasp how your subconscious works. Most people believe their thoughts are random, that their mind is simply a constant flow of directionless ideas. But the truth is, your subconscious mind is like a receiver and transmitter of quantum information. Think of it this way: only a small part of your mind is conscious. Scientists estimate that the subconscious controls more than 90% of your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. It's an automated system that stores memories, beliefs, and response patterns that you've accumulated throughout your life. But here's where the quantum aspect comes in. Your subconscious is not limited to your personal experience. It is also connected to a larger field of information, a network of energy and intelligence that transcends time and space. Carl Jung, the famous Swiss psychologist, spoke of the collective unconscious, a source of shared information among all humanity. According to his theory, our subconscious mind is connected to archetypes, symbols, and knowledge that go beyond our individual existence. But what Jung couldn't demonstrate in his time is what quantum physics is starting to suggest. The mind may be linked to a field beyond matter, where information is not transmitted in linear sequences, but instantaneously, as happens with entangled particles. If this is true, it means you can learn to access this informational field through your subconscious. You can receive answers, guidance, and intuitions from a deeper, more universal source. But to do so, you need to reprogram your mind and change the way you interact with reality. The problem is that most people live disconnected from this potential. From a young age, we are taught to see the world in a limited way. We are told that reality is solid, that we are separate from others, and that thought does not influence the physical world. This programming disconnects us from the quantum field and makes us operate from a low vibration state. But here's the key. When you begin to train your mind to perceive reality from a higher level, when you change your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, something incredible happens. Your frequency changes. By changing your frequency, you align with new possibilities, new opportunities, and new connections. This principle has been explored in ancient spiritual traditions around the world. In Buddhism, the interconnectedness of all things is emphasized. In Hinduism, it is taught that reality is Maya, an illusion created by the mind. In Hermetic teachings, it is said that the universe is mental, that everything we experience is a result of our consciousness. Now, science is beginning to demonstrate what these traditions have stated for centuries. The mind has a profound impact on reality. But here's the big question. How can you use this knowledge to transform your life? How can you activate the quantum entanglement in your own mind and access higher levels of consciousness? There are specific methods that have been utilized by wise individuals and mystics throughout history. And what's fascinating is that these methods don't require advanced technology or complex scientific knowledge. All you need is to learn how to work with your mind and your energy in a different way. The first step is meditation. Meditation is not just a relaxation technique. It's a tool to tune into higher frequencies of consciousness. When you meditate, you reduce the activity of your rational mind and allow your subconscious to open up to new perceptions. Studies have shown that meditation changes the structure of the brain, improves neural connectivity, and increases activity in areas related to intuition and extrasensory perception. The second step is visualization. Visualization is a technique used by high-performance athletes, successful entrepreneurs, and spiritual teachers. It involves creating vivid mental images of what you want to experience. But what most people don't realize is that visualization can function as a quantum tool. When you visualize with clarity and emotion, you are sending a signal to the field of infinite possibilities, activating the entanglement between your intention and the reality you wish to manifest. The third step is heart coherence. Research from the HeartMath Institute has shown that the heart has its own electromagnetic field, which is much stronger than that of the brain. When you enter a state of gratitude, love, or appreciation, your energy field synchronizes with higher frequencies. When this happens, your ability to perceive subtle connections increases. But here's where it gets really amazing. When you combine these three elements, meditation, visualization, and heart coherence, something incredible happens. Your mind aligns with the quantum field, and you begin to notice synchronicities, intuitions, and manifestations that once seemed impossible. In the following minutes, we'll explore how to apply these principles in a practical way, with exercises that have been tested by science to train your mind to operate at a higher level. But the most revealing part will come at the end of the video, when we uncover the ultimate method to unlock the connection between your subconscious and quantum entanglement. This knowledge has been utilized by great minds throughout history, but only a few have managed to master it completely. Now, you have the opportunity to discover it and apply it in your life. Get ready, because what's coming next may change the way you view reality forever. Now that you understand the fundamental principles of quantum entanglement and the connection to your subconscious, it's time to delve into the techniques that will allow you to activate this connection practically. Throughout history, many traditions have passed down secret methods for expanding the mind and accessing higher levels of consciousness. Present day, science is beginning to validate what these ancient teachings have conveyed for centuries. One of the most important aspects you need to understand is that your mind functions like an antenna. Your brain is not just a physical organ, but a receiver and transmitter of frequencies. In fact, experiments in neuroscience have demonstrated that the human brain can pick up information non-locally, meaning without the need for conventional transmission through physical senses. This suggests that our minds are entangled with a broader field of information, something that in quantum physics is known as the unified field. Rupert Sheldrake, a biologist and author of the theory of morphic fields, proposes that memory and consciousness are not stored in the brain, but in an information field that exists in space-time. According to Sheldrake, our minds can access this field intuitively, which would explain phenomena like telepathy, intuition, and the sensation of knowing something without a logical explanation. But here's the challenge. Most people live disconnected from this field because their mind is overwhelmed with noise, stress, and chaotic thoughts. To activate quantum entanglement in your life, you need to train your mind to operate in a state of greater coherence and alignment with this field of information. To do this, there are specific techniques you can apply immediately. The first method is the induction of theta waves. Theta brain waves occur when we are in a deep state of meditation or just before sleeping. In this state, the mind is more receptive to intuitive information and access to the subconscious. You can train yourself to enter this state voluntarily by using deep breathing techniques, guided meditation, and binaural sounds that induce specific brainwave patterns. The second method is holographic visualization. Unlike traditional visualization, which relies on imagining static images, holographic visualization involves feeling, perceiving, and experiencing an alternate reality as if you are already inside it. This type of visualization creates a bridge between your mind and the quantum field, activating the entanglement between your consciousness and the events you wish to manifest. An experiment conducted at Harvard University showed that pianists who practiced their scales mentally, without touching the piano, exhibited physical changes in their brains similar to those who practiced physically. This means that your mind does not distinguish between reality and vivid imagination. When you visualize with emotional intensity, you are programming your subconscious to attract and align with experiences that resonate with that reality. The third method is emotional anchoring. This concept comes from neuro-linguistic programming. and is based on the idea that emotions can be associated with specific stimuli to induce mental states voluntarily. If you can anchor elevated emotions such as gratitude, joy, or certainty in your daily life, you will be vibrating at a frequency that aligns with the field of infinite possibility. But there is an even more powerful principle that few know: the suspension of doubt. The reason many people struggle to connect with the quantum field is that they are trapped in patterns of doubt and skepticism that block the flow of energy. When you doubt, you cut off the connection to the field. However, when you manage to suspend doubt and operate from a state of absolute certainty, the manifestation of new realities happens more easily. This brings us to the concept of quantum faith. Many spiritual traditions have spoken about the power of faith, but few people understand that this has a scientific basis. When you firmly believe in an alternative reality and align your mind and emotions with that belief, you are sending a coherent signal to the quantum field. And when this signal is strong enough, the universe responds in unexpected but precise ways. That's why in many mystical traditions, initiates were subjected to tests that challenged their perception of reality. They were asked to believe in the impossible, to trust in the invisible, because only then could they transcend the limitations imposed by rational thinking. The question you need to ask yourself now is, are you willing to train your mind to operate at this level? Are you ready to break free from the limitations imposed by conventional thought and open yourself up to a completely new way of experiencing reality? Because what is to come is even more astonishing. In the final part of this video, we will reveal the ultimate method to activate quantum entanglement in your mind in a way that few have managed to master. This is the key that ancient mystics, great sages, and the most advanced researchers have tried to decipher for centuries, and now it is within your reach. Get ready, because what you are about to discover could change your life forever. We have now arrived at the most crucial point of this knowledge. You have understood the connection between your subconscious and quantum entanglement. You have explored the techniques that allow you to access this field of universal information. But the final element still remains, the one that closes the loop and transforms this theory into a lived experience. The question is, how can you ensure that this connection works consistently and isn't just a sporadic event? How can you integrate this knowledge into your life so that manifesting higher realities becomes your natural state? The final key is total alignment between your intention, your emotion, and your action. This may seem simple, but in reality, it's the greatest challenge for the human mind. Most people want to change their reality, but their thoughts are in conflict with their emotions and their actions. They don't reflect what they truly wish to manifest in quantum terms. This creates interference that hinders the entanglement from activating effectively. To achieve this total alignment, you must learn to operate from a state of absolute coherence. What does that mean? It means that every thought you emit, every emotion you feel, and every action you take must be in harmony with the reality you wish to create. It's not enough to visualize. It's not enough to feel. It's not enough to act. You must make these three forces work in sync. Imagine a laser. A laser is simply light, but the difference between a regular bulb and a laser is that in the latter, all the light waves are aligned in the same direction. That makes it powerful, capable of penetrating metal. Your mind works the same way. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions are scattered, your energy is lost. But when you align them in a single direction, you activate a force that can overcome any obstacle. This principle has been utilized by the brightest minds in history. Nikola Tesla spoke of the power of concentrated mental energy and how vibration and frequency determine reality. Albert Einstein said that imagination is more important than knowledge, because imagination connects us with realities that have yet to be manifested. But the ancients already understood this principle. In Hermetic traditions, it is said that as above, so below, as within, so without. This means that the external reality is a direct reflection of the internal reality. If there is chaos inside you, you will see it manifesting on the outside. But if you have order, clarity, and absolute certainty within, reality will respond in kind. This is where the final practice comes in, the state of It is already done. This is the most powerful mental and emotional state you can achieve. Instead of thinking of what you want as something distant or difficult to attain, you must train yourself to feel and act as if it is already manifested. Not from desperation, not from anxiety, but from absolute certainty. When you reach this state, your energy changes instantly. You are no longer asking, you are no longer waiting, you are no longer projecting the manifestation into the future. Instead, you are vibrating at the same frequency as what you desire. And when that happens, quantum entanglement does its work. Experiments in quantum physics have shown that when an observer interacts with a quantum system from a state of absolute certainty, the probability of collapsing into a specific reality dramatically increases. In other words, when you leave no room for doubt, reality responds by aligning itself with your intention. Tibetan monks have practiced this principle for centuries. They do not pray asking for something. Instead, they pray feeling that it has already manifested. Sufi mystics speak of the state of having arrived before taking a single step. Jesus said, "When you pray, believe that you have received what you ask for, and you will receive it." All these principles point to the same thing. Quantum manifestation occurs when the state of certainty is unbreakable. But here comes the most important part. This knowledge is not just for understanding, but for application. You may have heard many times about the law of attraction manifestation, the connection with the universe, but if you do not apply this knowledge with discipline and consistency, you will remain trapped in the same old reality. So here is the final challenge. For the next 7 days, dedicate at least 10 minutes a day to entering the state of, "It is done." Do not think of what you want as something distant, but feel it as if it is already part of your life. Do this, not from doubt or impatience, but from absolute certainty. Observe what happens. Pay attention to the synchronicities. Notice how reality begins to reconfigure in ways that previously seemed impossible. And if you truly commit to this practice, it won't be long before you experience what so many mystics, scientists, and spiritual seekers have described for centuries: the certainty that you are not separate from the universe, of it. Once you master this principle, your life will change forever. Not because something external has changed, but because your perception of reality will have evolved. Remember this: quantum entanglement is not just a phenomenon of subatomic particles. It reflects a deeper truth. Everything is connected. And now you have the knowledge to use this connection to your advantage. It's not a matter of luck. It's not magic. It's not coincidence. It's science. It's awareness. It's the awakening to a new reality. And it all starts in your mind. Your next step is to apply it. And when you do, you will realize that you were never separate from the universe. You just needed to remember. Thank you for watching.